is a bunch of onions that came off of 4 plants. 4 plants which are still very much full. I know these things are very strong, so I'll only need a few slices of one of these probably for an entire meal. But let me show you what I did with them. There were 4 plants. I put 2 in the raised bed and I put 2 in my front herb planter where herbs never grew. I watered all these things yesterday. I actually have one of my peas coming up, which means that the rest will be soon to follow. My sorrel's doing good. I can see now that I did have more than one plant there. That I planted the 2 Chinese cabbage there. It's gonna be too hot by the time they get started growing. So I'm not sure what I'll do there. See a couple of spider webs on my Meyer lemon, so I'm gonna move this tomato. I only got the table clean and got all this mildew or fungus or whatever that was on the edge there. Mr. sprayed some stuff on it and it worked really well actually. I have 2 kinds of mints this year. I mentioned it in my last video, I'm sure. This is regular peppermint and this with a kind of a textured leaf is called apple mint. I've tried chocolate mint, now I'm on apple mint. Damn loud geese. My vein is looking better. Here are 2 of the onions. I heard that these are really good grilled with olive oil. Once the roots of these onions establish, I'm gonna cut those main stems off so they can continue to grow. Ooh, I do not like those red-winged birds. I do not like them. Perpetual spinach. I actually watered them, so kind of mowed them down with the water. Yeah, so those are the 2 really huge onion stalks, and here are the other 3. Again, once they get established, I'm going to cut back center stalks. Scapes, I think that's what they're called. And I'll probably replant my herbs in the barrel pot today. $70 today, and not gonna rain again until a few Caesar leaves here. Red okra coming up in the middle, and I think that on the left of it is a perpetual spinach that didn't come up the first time I planted them. French sorrel here, and just about all my peas are my Tom Thumb peas are coming up, and those are actually peas. I wanted a dwarf snow pea. So if anybody knows of a dwarf snow pea, let me know. But yeah, these are some really nice looking pea plants, strong looking pea plants. I got some heirloom joints, so they are doing their thing, quite strong. And then in the rest of this, I had those little mini cucumbers. The fruit, I think, grows to be about 3 inches in length, but I think I may have had it wrong about the vine. I read that the vine would also only be 3 inches in length, but I think the package may have been misworded, because when I looked on the internet for the little mini white cucumbers, I read that vines get to 3 feet. I didn't read anything about any 3-inch cucumber vines. I may have very well put too many in this bed, and if that is indeed the case, I'll easily take several of these and put them in the yard bed. I'm concerned about my Caesar because it seemed like it was a little bitter, and if anything's bitter, it shouldn't be the baby leaves for sure. These, on the other hand, are sour, and they should be sour. I wonder if rabbits like them, because I don't want to put too much of anything that rabbits are going to love in the yard bed. It's good. Fresh leaves coming in on my citruses. This red vein sorrel and and callaloo. Maybe it is green after all. All of these starts back here are now doing the most. These are the onions that I planted. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that center stalk out because it's making them lean. And also what I've been doing is cutting the onion, and I'll stick it between the boards where I think the bunnies are under the deck. Hopefully they don't like that. Peppermint and apple mint. My patio tomato that's gonna go in a big pot eventually. I don't know if I put it in the video already. I put my fertilizer in a seasoning shaker. Okay, I'm getting hot with this jacket on now. It's 70 degrees. Red okra. Looking nice over here. The other one looks kind of yellow. I'm gonna get Mister to get this pot out of here. Yep, my fusello's gone. Bummer. So there's nothing here. So let me cut these onions down. I'm gonna also cut these down in the front, and then I'm going to replant all my herbs in the barrel pot. So here are my scapes. I'm gonna grill those with garlic and olive oil tonight. I cut off all the center pieces of the huge onions and also the ones in front. And what I started to do, I cut off a couple of these and I started sticking them down between these boards. I presumed they would repel. We all know onions repel insects and so forth. So I put them where I thought the bunnies might be, under the deck, through the boards, and just, you know, slid them through the boards and let them fall under the deck. Then I further thought it would be a good idea, since they ate my fusello out of the yard bed, that I would put the length of one there. I put a couple inside those little holes that anything might be able to get through. I lined this fence with them, with really big ones. I smell them now. I need to pull those weeds, but I put one over there. So I thought, if I'm going to do that, then why don't I discourage these birds from picking out of my garden here? So I decided to cut a couple more, cut them in half, and line them along the raised bed as well. Discourage the birds from plucking up my baby plantlings. Now, incidentally, this is a perpetual spinach, and let me just go ahead and tell you that that was delicious. It was delicious. As I did the gardening video earlier, I tasted one of my Caesar lettuces. Here's one of the red. Here's one of the red coming up. But I tasted one of my Caesars, and it was slightly bitter. This is a regular spinach. It looks nice here, but it's about to get pretty hot. The lemon verbena, the red sorrel. Started them indoors and thought they weren't ever going to come up. And when I started bringing things outside, I just brought them outside just in case they decided to come up when it was their time. And here was my big bed of red vein sorrel, which it looks like it is indeed. And on this side is my callaloo. It just looks kind of blush at first. It looks like it's going to be green, so I'm good with that. Everything in this bed is on fleek. Orange and red bell pepper on either end. The red currant tomato, I think, finally came up. Ooh, I don't think this is it though. Get rid of that. I don't see any birds brave enough to get into my new junior bed, but if they should decide to, I have a direct shot. Replacement French sorrel, but if I find out that the red vein sorrel has a comparable taste, then I'm just going to do red vein sorrel only. Those were some healthy tom thumb seeds. You look hungry, doesn't she? All yellowish and stuff. I decided that next year I'm going to grow green okra. I'm going to go ahead and grow green okra because old school people are convinced. You know what? That deserves its own video. And it'll be a short one, so I'll do that by itself. These new pea plants coming up are so beautiful. I can't stop staring at them. It's so thick and green and lush. The catch is, again, I wanted them to be snow peas because I like the early harvestability of snow peas and the fact that the more you harvest, the more you get. With regular peas, you let the pod fill to firm and you pick it off, and that's all you get. So unless you have a lot of room, even planting them in succession wouldn't satisfy the need to have more peas. Let me empty this space off my camera, turn off this water. But first, let me clean this bird shit off my deck.